Welcome back to Sides TV. Today we have brought an interesting discussion on the series from Apple TV, Silo, and we will be discussing its season 1 here today. You ready to go deep on this one?
Absolutely. This show is a rabbit hole of intrigue. Silo isn't just entertainment. It really makes you question what you see and who you trust.
Okay, so to set the stage for our viewers, imagine living in a giant underground bunker, completely cut off from the outside world. That's the silo, humanity's last refuge. Or so they're told. Venturing outside means certain death because of the supposedly toxic air out there.
What's immediately striking is the silo's control over information. They've crafted a specific narrative about the outside world, keeping everyone in the dark. Think about the information you rely on every day. News, social media, even history books. What if those sources were manipulated? Could you tell the difference between truth and carefully crafted fiction?
Whoa, that's a chilling thought. And in this world of controlled narratives, we meet Sheriff Holston Becker and his wife, Allison. They want a child, but the silo has strict regulations, even seemingly controlling their fertility.
This is where we start to see those cracks in the facade. The control isn't just about the environment, it's about every aspect of their lives. Allison discovering that old hard drive, filled with information from before the silo. That's a major turning point.
It's like finding a hidden diary that contradicts everything you've been told about your family history, right? Suddenly, Allison realizes the silo's leaders might not be the benevolent protectors they claim to be.
Exactly. And her decision to venture outside, claiming the air is safe, is an act of ultimate rebellion. It's not just about escaping, it's about challenging the very foundation of the silo's authority.
But 2 years later, we find ourselves deeper into the silo's secrets. Juliet Nichols, a very sharp engineer, who takes over as sheriff. She's gutsy, fixing the silo's main generator, even though it risks a total shutdown.
What's fascinating about Juliet is that she's a problem solver, not a blind follower. And during that generator repair, there's a glitch on the screens showing the outside world. Instead of the usual barren wasteland, there's a glimpse of a lush green landscape. It's a brief moment, but it plants that seed of doubt.
Okay, so now we've got suspicious deaths, like George, the IT expert who helped Allison, and Mayor Johns. Then there's this secret group, the Flamekeepers, who seem to be guarding forbidden knowledge from before the silo.
Think of the Flamekeepers as those individuals who hold on to inconvenient truths, the ones that challenge the official narrative. They represent the fight against information suppression, a struggle that plays out in our own world all the time.
So while Juliet is investigating these deaths, she stumbles upon this group and learns about relics, bits of tech from the before time.
The relics are a fascinating element. They represent the lost knowledge, the forgotten past, that the silo's authorities are so desperate to erase. They're a reminder that history is often written by the victors, and that truth can be fragile and easily manipulated.
And as Juliet digs deeper, she finds more and more evidence that things are not what they seem.
Right, and she uncovers the true villain of the story, Bernard, the head of IT. He's been pulling the strings all along, orchestrating deaths and manipulating events to maintain his control.
So this seemingly mild-mannered tech guy is actually the mastermind behind the silo's web of secrets. What's interesting is that he believes he's doing the right thing, protecting the silo from dangerous knowledge. Does a good intention justify such extreme measures? It makes you think about the lines we draw between security and freedom, even in our own lives.
Absolutely. And in a shocking turn of events, Juliet confronts Bernard with the truth, but he outmaneuvers her, framing her as a traitor and forcing her to be expelled from the silo.
Talk about a cruel twist. They use the very fear they've instilled to silence her, sending her out to what they claim is certain death. But before she's sent out, Julie gets her hands on Holston's hard drive.
What she finds on that hard drive is a bombshell, a video message from George, revealing a hidden door beneath the silo, and even more importantly, showing footage of the outside world. Not the desolate wasteland they've been led to believe, but a lush green valley.
So the truth is out. The silo has been lying to his people this whole time. It's like that moment when you realize someone you trusted has been keeping a huge secret from you. How do you react? Do you cling to the familiar lie or embrace the unsettling truth?
That's the dilemma the silo residents face. The projection of the Green Valley is broadcast throughout the silo, shattering their carefully constructed reality. But the question remains, how will they respond to this newfound knowledge?
But there's another twist, right? This Green Valley isn't all it seems.
Right. As Juliet steps outside, she quickly realizes that the idyllic valley is just another projection. an illusion designed to maintain the lie. The outside world is indeed a wasteland, but thanks to her mentor, Walker, she's prepared. He secretly made sure her suit would actually protect her. This act of defiance gives her a chance to explore the real world beyond the silo.
That's intense. Even in a highly controlled environment, there are acts of resistance, people willing to risk everything for the truth.
And as Juliet ventures further, she makes a discovery. That's even more shocking than the truth about the outside world. She finds countless other silos, stretching out as far as she can see, and in the distance, a mysterious city looms on the horizon.
Whoa! So there's a whole network of these silos, all seemingly controlled by this unknown city. It's like pulling back the curtain on a massive conspiracy, and we're left wondering, who's behind it all? What's their agenda? And what does it mean for Juliet and the future of humanity?
That's the cliffhanger that Season 1 leaves us with. We've gone from a single, isolated silo to a vast network, hinting at a much larger and more complex world than we could have imagined.
We'll need to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll dive even deeper into the implications of these discoveries. What does this network of silos mean for humanity's future? And what role will Juliet play in uncovering the truth about the city and those who control it? Stay with us.
The ending of Season 1 really throws a wrench in the works, doesn't it? It shifts the entire scope of the story, leaving us with more questions than answers. Makes you wonder about the limits of your own knowledge, about what's happening just beyond your field of vision.
Totally. We started with this contained world, this one silo, and suddenly we're thrown into this vast, interconnected network.
It begs the question, if there are so many silos, what's the purpose? Are they all controlled by this mysterious city? And what does that control look like?
The existence of the city throws the entire power dynamic into question. It raises the stakes exponentially. We're no longer just dealing with one oppressive regime within the silo, but potentially a much larger and more sophisticated system of control. Imagine if the internet, your phone, even your car, were all subtly manipulated by some unseen force. That's the kind of chilling possibility the city represents.
Okay, that's a bit unsettling. But it's fascinating to think about the different way this control could manifest. Is it about keeping humanity safe in some kind of controlled experiment? Or is it about power and manipulation on a grand scale? It's like the difference between a parent setting boundaries for their child's safety and a puppet master pulling strings for their own amusement, and the fact that they went to such lengths to create that illusion of a green valley outside the silo suggests a level of deception that's pretty disturbing.
Right. The manipulation runs deep. Makes you wonder about the motivations of those who built these silos. What happened in the past? That led to this kind of extreme solution.
Exactly. Silo throws a lot of questions at us about the nature of truth, but it also digs into the choices we make in the face of uncertainty. You know Allison's defiance. Her willingness to risk everything for the truth stands in stark contrast to the silo residents who choose to accept the lie. Think about a time when you had to choose between the comfortable lie and the unsettling truth. Which path did you choose?
Ooh, good question. It's easy to judge the silo residents for their complacency, but we all make compromises in our own lives. Sometimes the truth is just too scary to face head on. But then you have someone like Juliet, who's driven by this relentless curiosity. She's not afraid to dig for answers, even when those answers put her in danger. That's got to be a tough balance, right? Between wanting to know the truth and knowing that the truth might come at a high cost.
Juliet's journey is a powerful reminder. That knowledge is power, but it can also be a burden. She's constantly wrestling with new information, trying to piece together the puzzle of the silo and its place in the larger world. And now with the discovery of the other silos and the city, the puzzle just got a whole lot bigger.
It's like she's playing a game with hidden rules, constantly trying to figure out the next move, always a step behind the puppet master. But even in the face of this seemingly insurmountable challenge, she keeps pushing forward. She's not giving up. And that's what makes her such a compelling character.
Her persistence makes you wonder, what will she do next? Will she try to connect with the other silos, maybe form an alliance against the city? Or will she go straight for the source, heading directly for the city, to confront those in control?
Ooh, both options are risky, but potentially game-changing. It would be awesome to see her rally the people from the other silos, creating a united front against the city's control. But on the other hand, going directly to the source, facing the puppet master head-on, that's a bold move. That could have massive consequences.
But either way, it's going to be a wild ride. And think about this. Back in the silo, The truth about the inside world has been revealed. How do you think the residents are going to react? Will there be chaos, rebellion, or will they cling even tighter to the familiar structure of the silo, even knowing it's built on a lie?
That's the big question, isn't it? They've been conditioned to fear the outside world. But now they've seen a glimpse of what could be. Will that spark a desire for freedom, for a chance to reclaim their agency?
Their response will be a fascinating study. In human nature, will they rise up against the system that has kept them captive, or will they succumb to the fear and uncertainty that the truth has unleashed?
And let's not forget Bernard, the puppet master himself. He's still in control of the silo, and he's not going to give up his power easily. He genuinely believes he's doing the right thing, protecting the silo residents from a dangerous world. But what happens when his authority is challenged? When his carefully constructed reality starts to crumble? Will he double down on his control, or will he be forced to confront his own beliefs?
Bernard's a complex character. Driven by a twisted sense of duty, he represents the dangers of unchecked authority, but also the tragic consequences of clinging to a belief system that's no longer sustainable.
His story arc will be fascinating to watch unfold. Will he be redeemed? Will he finally see the error of his ways? Or will he become even more entrenched in his delusion, leading to a catastrophic downfall?
And what about those who helped Juliet? Walker, for example, risked everything to ensure her survival. Will he face repercussions for his defiance? Will he become a leader in the potential rebellion?
Ooh, good point. Walker's actions show that. Even in the most oppressive systems, there will always be individuals who resist, who fight for what's right. He's a symbol of hope, a reminder that even small acts of defiance can have a ripple effect.
His bravery and loyalty make you wonder about the other unsung heroes. Within the silo, who else is working behind the scenes to challenge the status quo? Who else is ready to step up and fight for a better future?
Season 2 has so much potential. It's a chance to explore the wider world of the silos, to delve into the mysteries of the city, and to witness the evolution of these characters as they grapple with the truth and fight for their freedom.
I'm particularly intrigued by the potential for alliances and conflicts. Between the different silos, will they unite against a common enemy, or will they be pitted against each other in a struggle for power?
The possibilities are endless. And the show's exploration of technology and its role in both control and liberation adds another layer of complexity. On one hand, we see how technology is used to manipulate the silo residents, to keep them confined and misinformed. But on the other hand, we see how technology can also be used to empower individuals, to connect them to the truth and to each other.
It's a powerful reminder that technology is a tool. And like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. The show doesn't offer easy answers, but it encourages us to think critically about the role of technology in our own lives.
It's a timely message, especially in a world where we're increasingly reliant on technology for information, communication, and even our sense of reality. Silo prompts us to question the sources of our information, to be wary of those who control the flow of knowledge, and to be mindful of how technology can be used to shape our perceptions and our behavior.
It's a chilling reminder that the fight for truth and freedom is an ongoing battle, and that we need to be vigilant in protecting our autonomy and our ability to think critically. The show doesn't shy away from the darker aspects of human nature, but it also highlights the resilience of the human spirit and its unwavering desire for a better world.
So as we gear up for Season 2, let's consider the impact of these discoveries on a personal level. Think about the information you consume every day. Where does it come from? Who controls the narrative? And are you willing to question the accepted truths, to dig deeper, to seek out alternative perspectives?
It's a challenge we all face. In this age of information overload, Silo encourages us to be active participants in our own understanding of the world, to be critical thinkers, and to be wary of those who seek to control the flow of knowledge.
And it reminds us that the truth, even when it's unsettling, is always worth fighting for.
Silo really throws a lot of curveballs at you, doesn't it? Each time you think you've got a handle on things, a new layer of the conspiracy is peeled back.
Right. It keeps you guessing, keeps you engaged. But it's not just about the plot twists. It's about the bigger questions the show raises, about truth, power, and what it means to be human.
Think about how the show plays with our perception of reality. First, we're led to believe the outside world is toxic. Then we see that lush valley, only to find out it's another layer of manipulation. How much of what WE believe is based on carefully constructed illusions?
Whoa. Deep thought. It makes you wonder about the information we're bombarded with every day. News, social media, even the stories we tell ourselves about our own lives. How much of it is filtered, spun, or outright fabricated?
And what's even more unsettling is the realization that someone is benefiting from these illusions. In the silo, it's Bernard and the mysterious forces behind the city. In our world, it might be governments, corporations, even individuals seeking power or influence.
Okay, so we've got this overarching theme of control and manipulation. But Silo also gives us these characters who resist, who fight back against the system. Allison, Juliet, Walker, they're all willing to risk everything for the truth.
Their actions are incredibly inspiring. It shows that even in the most oppressive environments, the human spirit can't be completely extinguished. There's always that spark of rebellion, that desire for something better.
And it's not just about individual acts of defiance, right? The Flamekeepers, for example, they're all about preserving knowledge,
Yeah.
keeping the truth alive, even when it's dangerous.
They represent the importance of collective action, of sharing information and working together to challenge those in power. Think about the power of grassroots movements, whistleblowers, even independent journalists who are willing to speak truth to power.
So after this deep dive into Silo,
Mm-hmm.
what's the most impactful takeaway for you? What's the one thing you hope our listener walks away with?
For me, it's the importance of questioning everything. Don't just accept the narratives you're given. Dig deeper, seek out alternative perspectives, and be willing to challenge the status quo.
I love that. Be a critical thinker, a truth seeker. And don't be afraid to stand up for what you believe in, even when it's unpopular or uncomfortable.
Because as we've seen in Silo, the truth, no matter how unsettling, is always a better foundation than a carefully constructed lie. The journey might be challenging, but the pursuit of truth and freedom is a journey worth taking.
Well said. This has been an incredible deep dive into Silo. It's a show that stays with you long after the credits roll, prompting us to question our own assumptions and to be more mindful of the forces that shape our world.
Couldn't agree more. It's a story that resonates deeply with our current times, reminding us of the importance of critical thinking, courage, and the power of collective action.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of Silo. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep into the mysteries of life.